It's interesting to me that you said you did some street improv. I've done improv as well. You know, being a frontman of a band, being a wrestler, improv is a big part of it. Do you find that's helped you as a frontman? Because you're great, obviously, on stage and talking to people and commanding giant crowds, smaller ones on your evening shows. Did the improv skills, did they come in handy throughout your career?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just what I'd call general stagecraft. As in, as soon as you walk onto a stage, the rules change. You know, you're not in the outside world anymore. You're on stage. And the rules change, and you've got a relationship with an audience, and they have expectations of you because you're on the stage, because they paid money to see you, and they expect you to do something or deliver something or say something or teach something or entertain them or juggle or whatever the hell it is. But don't stand there and stare at your shoes and feel sorry for yourself, because they will crucify you. And audiences are wonderful, but they can also be incredibly brutal. You know, I learned a bit of that, you know, when I was at school. I was in every school play that was going, you know, and I would have been, I now know I would have been a shocking actor, you know, because people who are really good at acting are just really good at being somebody else. And I'm only really good at being me.
How did you deal with that when early on, like you said, especially before Maiden became Iron Maiden? If you had a crowd that was a little bit difficult, what tricks did you use to make them like you more?
I would insult them.
Reverse psychology.
I would insult them, either that or try and make friends with them, but in a very odd way. So I mean, I had one show. I was in a band at university, and we turned up, and there was one. In the old days, would have been called a disco. Right. And, except there was nobody there. It's like the Phantom Disco, and there was like mirror balls and lights, and there was us on stage, and there was nobody there. But we were getting paid like $50 to go and play. So then the door opened, and one person walked in, looked a bit shocked that there was somebody actually on stage. And so he got a chair. And he put it, and right in the middle of the dance floor, sat down on this chair. And I thought, this is great. And so I got off the stage and I went up to him, and with the microphone, I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "I got to know." I said, "What's your name?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm so-and-so." I said, "Can I buy you a beer?" You know, I said, "Because we're about to do this performance just for you. The least I can do is buy you a beer. You may hate it." You know what I mean? And then we kind of relaxed, and we actually had a relationship. We had an audience of one who didn't know who we were from Adam, but actually we had a great time. You know, nobody cared, nobody knew, but we had a great time. I think you have to take that there's always a way in to a bad situation. Always a way into a bad situation. You just have to think laterally outside the box. A pet peeve of mine is when a band goes on in what is obviously a toilet with two beer crates at one end of the stage, and they go on there and they pretend that they're in Madison Square Gardens, and it's like, "Hello, Cleveland," you know, and I'm just like, no, it's not Cleveland. You're in a toilet with two beer crates. If you just said to people, "Hey, we're all in a toilet with two beer crates," everybody would go, "These guys are great. I love these guys." But instead they go, yeah, just a bunch of posers, you know. So you've got to be real with it. Now, obviously, when you're on stage in Iron Maiden, you've got the lights, you've got everything, you've got the big sort of like at the beginning, and, you know, intro tapes and stuff. But that makes it even worse if you go out and goof up. And what I've discovered, well, my pet theory of clubs versus theatres versus arenas versus stadiums, right, is that the one where you have to be almost note perfect is not in a club where people are right in front of your face, because then there's all these other triggers and stimuli going on to distract their attention away from the fact that you're out of tune, and they don't care you're out of tune because you're sweating and they're right next door to you, and yeah, that's it. But in the stadium, you know, they paid $100 to come and see you, and there's a big build up, and you walk out and you do exactly the same performance. They go, "Wow, they suck. Wow, they sound like a terrible bar band." But if you did that same thing as the same band in a bar, they go, "Wow, that was great." That was legendary. So audiences change their perspective according to where you are and what their expectation is, you know.